This is the New York Giants Weekly, and we are looking as a preview of the upcoming game, which is Thursday night. I believe that's one day. This is, here right now. And it's going to be the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles, NFC East football. Before we get into it, quick look back. New York Giants, you guys got a victory last week.
They finally, for lack of a better term, I guess, got the first W for head coach Joe Judge. It took a while. They were close in 3 games already. They were close against the Rams, the Cowboys, and they're kind of close in the Steelers game, and also the Bears game. They were close. They were down to the final possession. They were finally able to obtain that first elusive victory against the Washington football team. I think when you look at both the Washington football team and New York Giants, they have been the doormats in the NFC East. And this was a game where if the New York Giants lost, I believe Dave Gettleman would already be collecting unemployment, because this would be a sign that the New York Giants have fallen to the bottom of their division. And they gave Dave Gettleman 3 years. Things didn't get better. They got worse. So that's kind of something to look at. But I think the defense played as expected for the Giants against Washington. The run game did improve. The New York Giants, this was the thing they did. They forced turnovers. The New York Giants forced 2 turnovers, and on both of those turnovers, they put up 14 points. That was the major difference in the game. The James Bradbury interception.
Not field goals, touchdowns.
Touchdowns. So that was the major difference. James Bradbury got a pick. A few minutes later, Darius Slayton holding a 23-yard grab from Daniel Jones on a beautifully thrown ball. Slayton got separation. Jones hit him with a rainbow. Boom, right in stride for 6. And then later, towards the end, in the fourth quarter, when it looked like Washington was ready to potentially in a 13-13 game, they get a sack fumble. Tay Crowder picks it up, and he runs it into the end zone. Unfortunately for Tay Crowder, he's hurt this week, so he's not going to play. But you're seeing an emergence and a change on the defensive side of the ball for the New York Giants.
Yeah, you mentioned in all these games you guys were keeping it close. I want to get back to that when we get to the defensive phase. As we always do on this show, we tend to look at the 3 phases of the game because, hey, you have to win 2 of the 3 phases of the game in order to win the game. So let's start out with the offensive phase. What do the New York Giants need to do? And I'm talking about the Jason Garrett, Jones, sans Saquon Barkley, sans a lot of offensive linemen, offense need to do to score points against the Philadelphia defense that has holes?
Yes, I think the Philadelphia Eagles have traditionally found their best footing when they're playing the Giants the last few years. The last time the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles was 2016. The last time the New York Giants beat Philadelphia in Philadelphia was 2011 when Victor Cruz debuted the salsa dance after the touchdown. So it's been
Those were good times, though, man. Those were good times, okay?
They were. The Giants made the playoffs in 2016, and they won the Super Bowl in 2011. So
All right. Hopefully the engineer is going to find a replay of Victor Cruz doing the salsa dance and put this up right now, because all Giants fans need to see that as often as possible.
I think there are 3 things the Giants need to do offensively. 2 are very general. 1 is very specific. The first one, for the love of God, do not turn over the ball. And I'm pretty sure we all know who specifically I'm talking about is Daniel Jones. So far, he dropped. He's only has the 3rd most turnovers in the NFL. He has 9 turnovers right now. So this is something where the last 2 games he had 1 interception each. Both of them were, I guess, frustrating, or 1 turnover each.
Right.
This interception against Washington the last week was a few more inches. It could have been, out of bounds. It was a great play, but it's still frustrating.
No, let's talk about that the way it is. He has to learn, this is a step in his evolution, the difference between throwing it up and throwing it away. He threw that up. He should have thrown it away. That is an evolution. What I like about Daniel Jones is I do see him evolving. I don't see it like, he's turning the ball over every week, but he's being creative about it, man.
That's not the evolution the Giants want.
No, but I mean, you're not making the same mistake all the time. So I mean, like at a certain point, it's going to become ad nauseum. Now, if you're a hardcore Giants fan, that probably was like last season. But for people looking at the outside, I'm sitting here. All right, I look at you through a Dallas Cowboys lens. And I'm going like, no, I'm sorry. I will use the term Eli Manning moment with him, but no, man, I see him evolving and getting better at this point. Is he getting better fast enough?
I don't think that's to be debated, because when you look at Daniel Jones, the Giants, Daniel Jones has never had, or he had his full complement of weapons, and his full complement of weapons would be Darius Slayton, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, and Saquon Barkley. He had
whoa.
for one quarter.
All of his offensive linemen. No, he doesn't have them. He's missing two of them. Okay.
No. So I think that is, you can say he's missing 4 or 5 depending on the play you watch. But I think turnovers, that's one thing that needs to be settled. The second thing that needs to be settled, which is a team thing, is when the Giants make it to the red zone, they need to get touchdowns, not field goals. This has been one of the more frustrating things this season, where they're able to get an explosive play every now and then, but to get to the next level, they need to score in the red zone. Against the Dallas Cowboys, they ran a reverse and Evan Engram was able to convert. And another time, Devontae Freeman was able to power in, but they weren't able to do that this week against Washington. Van, what do you got?
Well, I understand that I believe it's AOC is the Congress woman in the New York has put up she's trying to bring into effect a law for New York that no New York wide receiver is allowed to carry a handgun in a place that serves alcohol, while wearing athletic gear.
Well, actually, Bloomberg had that law, but Plaxico Burress didn't follow it. How different things would have been, to say the least, with that.
Another
one.
Super Bowl, I believe, would be in the bag.
Yeah, well, it's
at
the Giants,
least one. At least one.
Yeah, the Giants were on a roll until that incident in the Latin Quarter.
And that's never been recovered. And what we're talking about for the people out there, and hey, let's have a great call to action moment. Yeah, we love you, Rado. Down below, who since Plaxico Burress has been a red zone target, reliable, or even made a few plays for the New York Giants since Plaxico Burress? We don't really expect any entries. That was probably not a good call to action, was it?
I mean, I can think, I think Larry Donnell had a great game against Washington a few years ago, and then they had, I don't know if you put Odell.
A great game doesn't make you a great red zone target.
I would say that, I might go with Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks. But
in combo. Yeah, the two players making one, yeah.
But they still haven't been able, well, it's also.
You used to do it with tight ends. Do it with tight ends, and then, you moved over, and Plaxico Burress just said, okay, don't worry about it. I got this. And you guys got spoiled for several seasons. And then since then, it's been like the Sahara Desert in New York and is the end zone. And I don't get that. The red zone, actually.
It's also, too, with the New York Giants offense, their offensive line isn't geared to smash and push the other team in the end zone. They haven't shown that in years.
It's designed to score from basically 25 yards out.
Yeah, and I'll just leave at this, since we're talking, a lot of the blame goes on the offensive line. Here's the third thing the Giants you need to look at. They need to play Matt Pert at tackle. Okay, Matt Pert, third-round pick. He came in for Andrew Thomas. His Pro Football Focus grade was 82.6 overall and a 91.7 on run block.
There's a big difference between the two positions, though, man.
But he was playing left tackle. He replaced Andrew Thomas. And that was something where it's like,
Then plug him in and leave him in.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're Joe Judge, you got to be like, listen, you know what? He was a leader. The better left tackle is, all of a sudden, the better Will Hernandez is. Offensive line is one of the items where...
And that lets you move Thomas back to where he should be, actually.
Yeah. You've had him at right tackle. It's like, you know what? He's a first-round pick. Maybe play him. I mean, one thing, I'll give Dave Gettleman credit. He doubled down on offensive line.
That's not a bad move.
No, it's not. When you have so many issues, he doubles down. If he only had Andrew Thomas and he was playing like this, they probably would be even more upset. But you got Matt Pert. Who cares where you draft him as long as you get him? Well, and I think Matt Pert could be something down the line at left tackle. What do you got, Van?
Well, the important thing here is to realize that whenever we talk about it from week to week, the offensive line is so freaking important to the success of this team.
It absolutely is. You kind of seen him take steps forward with Devontae Freeman.
Yes. Hasn't he done well?
Yeah. They still need more out of him, though. They still need that consistency, ability to wear
it out. So that phase of the game, that's what the Giants need to do. Got that. Now, on the defensive phase of the game, I tell you what, man, what you were talking about at the top of the show, how you guys kept things close. That's your defense, man. All right, I just love this. And that and the fact that you guys actually try to run the ball on a regular basis, that's kind of cool. It helps your defense out. But no, seriously, man, the defense, and I love this defensive line that you guys are building. You know, you guys run a 3-4, but you've got a starting 4 on your interior 3. Yes. Whoa, talk about that for a minute.
So you have interior 4 of starting with Leonard Williams, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Dexter Lawrence. And you got B.J. Hill coming off the bench. 4 of those guys are rated in the top 50 for an interior defensive lineman, which is great, which is a true strength. And going back to that Washington game, the pressure the defensive line applied without really blitzing got that stop on that 2-point conversion. The Giants got the victory. That's one thing you can credit. But I think defensively, there are 2 things they need to do. First, in all 6 games this season, the Giants defense has given up an oppositional score in the closing minutes of the first half. This is mind-boggling.
They got to shift that time down. Yeah.
Yes, you have to. In 2 of those games, in the San Francisco game and in the game this last week against Washington, they got to stop on 3rd down. They either they force a penalty for the Giants that cost them on both of them. Against San Francisco, basically the penalty was, I think, a hold for 5 yards, automatic first down. A 3rd and 23 turns into a first down. San Francisco marches down the field and puts up 6. And this week it was on a punt. They basically run into the kicker. A 4th and 9 goes to a 4th and 4. Riverboat Ron rolls the dice. They convert, and they score a touchdown. This is something that has been so consistent. It's been so annoying and driving everyone nuts. I'm pretty sure it drives Joe Judge and the defense nuts. They need to get that stop in the first half so they get some momentum going into this.
All right, well, that is the defense. Now, you guys definitely, I think your defensive line is definitely set. But you guys are also set, I think, very well at linebacker. Even with the injury, the season-ending injury, I don't think that's necessarily hurt you that badly because Marcus Golden is now getting more snaps. Yeah.
Yeah. Marcus Golden led the Giants in sacks last year, and he was the guy coming off the bench. The free agent signings of Blake Martinez, who's having a phenomenal season, he's playing great at the linebacker level. You also have Kyle Frackle, who's playing a solid. He has a few sacks. He has an interception return for a touchdown. All of a sudden, the Giants have a respectable linebacker core. But I think, too, the second point I want to bring out about the Giants defense, they have to force turnovers with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has more turnovers than Daniel Jones. The New York Giants defense needs to take advantage of this, and they need to make Philadelphia Eagles regret letting Nick Foles go. So Spinky, that's for you, buddy. So that's something I definitely think the Giants defense needs to do. They need to attack. They need to force turnovers. And also, let's not forget the secondary. James Bradbury has been a lockdown cornerback. So
they tried to pick on him, and he's like, bring it, man, bring it. And
it didn't work.
Peppers is finding his way. He's been playing hurt, and now it seems like he's getting, a little bit healthier. And as he's been getting healthier, he's been getting more solid. So you guys have some bright spots back there. Again, I love your defense, the defensive phase of the game. I agree with you. What you have to do is you're going to have to shut it down at the end of the first half, and that's the new elevation to the formula that you've been using so far. Now we got to go to special teams real quick before we head on to the end phase where we predict. And special teams, I tell you what, man, unless your special teams are playing well, you're not going to go far.
No, at least no gaffes too. So far, you got to give credit to Graham Gano. It seems like he found his old pro form, to say the least, which is crucial. Anything matters. I know some people criticize Joe Judge for not going for it on a 4th and goal in the second half. But listen, if you have that Giants offensive line, you got to take the points. They haven't done anything where they're mauling and mashing everyone in. That push, you know what, take the points and you get the victory, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Jake Elliott, I believe he's been with the Eagles for a while, and he can come out every now and then and, maybe kick a 63-yarder to win a game or something like that.
No big deal. Nah.
No big deal. So I definitely think it's going to be a battle of the place kickers. Jake Elliott, he actually put up 0 points last week for the Eagles game. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do going forward.
Well, we have the three phases of the game. All right. Mm-hmm. On offense, can the Giants do what they need to do to take advantage of the Philadelphia defense, which has a lot of holes?
Yes. It's ironically enough where last week it was the Redskins offense that was the problem. Now it's going to be the Eagles defense. I do see maybe on the road the Giants putting up maybe 27 points.
Oh, wow. All right, well, now on defense, can the Giants defense do what it needs to do to do enough against the Philly offense? In other words, basically hold them to 20 points.
I think if you're the Giants, if you get Philly down, they'll stay down and they could potentially implode for the rest of the season. And first place could be within grasp because Carson Wentz, as we mentioned, he has 11
That's a very political answer. You did not answer my question. Will the defense, are they going to win the defensive phase of the game? Will the defense be able to hold them under 20 points? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I can definitely see them forcing some turnovers.
Special teams. Who's going to take it?
Giants.
Man, so you've got the Giants winning all three phases. You've got the Giants winning the game.
Yes, I do. But strange things can happen. This could elevate the Giants to 2-4, which in 2020 will give Giants first place. And I think the final score of the Giants game will be 27-20, Giants winning against the Eagles. And I would like to thank everyone for watching. And if you can, please click that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. This is Sports Talk Line, where we talk sports 24/7, 365. And listen like you play with intensity.